Hi, I'm John. I'm one of the chefs here at Morrison's, and I'm going to show you how to make pasta today. It's really, really easy to make. It's not as difficult as you may think. It's 5 ingredients. It's flour, it's eggs, it's oil, it's a little bit of water and a little touch of salt, and that's all it is, and a bit of elbow grease. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start with our flour. Dead easy. In our bowl, make a little hole in the middle, and we're going to crack in. We're going to use 4 eggs, but we're going to use 2 eggs whole and 2 eggs just the yolks. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So I'm going to show off how to crack an egg, because we do it one-handed because we show off chefs. But the other way of doing it, crack your egg in there. And then the next thing is you need to separate the yolks out. A little bit more difficult this one. What we're going to do, crack open the egg, let the white fall out into the bowl, and then just pass the yolk backwards and forwards in the shell. Put that in there, one down, next one done. Same thing again, just passing it backwards and forwards into the bowl. Really easy. With eggshells. Okay. Next thing we want to do is put a little pinch of salt into our bowl. More salt, chefs love salt. And we're going to put about a tablespoon of oil in there. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, tablespoon and a bit, we'll call it. And then we need to put a little bit of water in. I would say about 2 tablespoons of water for this. Now flour is different each time, so some flours will be more absorbent than others, so you might need to add a bit more flour than I have, a bit more flour, a bit more water. It'll all depend, but we're going to try and use this. And all you're going to do now is just stir it all in together. Break the yolks up a little bit and just stir it in. Now I've done this really, really simply. This is 250 grams of flour, 4 eggs, about 2 tablespoons of oil, but 2 and a bit tablespoons of water. Really, really easy. Just bring it on. Now, like I say, you can use it with a food processor. It will make this a lot easier, but not all of us have food processors. So I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. It's just a little bit more work. I think that's going to need a touch more water. I'm just going to bring that all together to make a nice soft dough. Take this off. This is where you have to put it on a bench. Make sure your bench is nice and clean. I promise you I've already cleaned all my benches down. And we're just going to knead it. Now I've used plain flour here. You can use strong flour as well. The strong flour will give you a little bit more of a stretch and a little bit more gluten-y on your pasta. But it won't make that much difference. So after kneading your dough, it should be nice and soft, it should be pliable, it should feel just like a dough really. What we're going to do is we're going to pop that into a little bowl, stick some cling film over the top of it, pop it in your fridge, and give it about half an hour as a rest before we're ready to use it. Okay, we've got our pasta out of the fridge now, we're ready to go. This is the fun bit. This is the bit where you can get the family involved. You can have little competitions about how you're going to make different shapes. You can use cutters, you can use knives to make it into little shapes, and whatever you want. This is where we go a bit mad now. So we've got our pasta dough, we're ready to go. We put a little bit of flour on our bench. Cover our dough up with a bit of flour, and we cut it up. We cut some little chunks off it. And this is where we can play around with shapes. So there's a few different things we can do with this. You can pull a little ball off like that. Oops. Roll it into a little ball. Flatten it between your fingers. And then that's it. We'll make some little balls. Shape them like that. This is one where you can all sit around doing it together. See if we can do the most in the quickest time. Other things we can do is you can make little small ones. You can roll it almost like little grains of sand. It's very similar to a pasta called orzo. And then the next one we can do is we can roll it out. Oops. Trim that off a little bit, and we'll cut our pasta into little strips. go. Some stuck together. So there's a few different shapes there. You can even roll it out. You can reuse the other bits as well. Flat again. If you've got any funny shaped cookie cutters or anything like that, little pastry cutters. Oops. I've got a little leaf shaped one. There we go. And now we need to cook them. So we've had the fun bit, we've made our different shapes, we've played around with different cutters, we've made little strips, whatever you want to do. We're now ready to cook our pasta. Pan of boiling water, a little pinch of salt, and you cook pasta the same way as you would cook dry pasta, only it doesn't take quite as long. Dry pasta will take about 12-15 minutes to cook, fresh pasta will take about 3 or 4 minutes. So we're going to do our first lot. After these thin strips, we put them into, it's a bit like tagliatelle, a bit like spaghetti, but a bit thicker, and we're going to drop that in the water. Try not to clog it all in together, just do a little bit at a time, dropping it in the water nice and gently. Put that in, like that. One of the things we've also done is we've got a little pan here, or a little bowl of ice cold water, and when we finish cooking our pasta, we'll put it in there, ready for our next use of it. So whether we're going to fry it off with a little bit of oil, or we're going to put some tomato sauce in it, whatever we're going to end up doing with it. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, our pasta's ready to go. We've stirred it up in the boiling water, we're going to put it into our cold water to refresh. There we go, just drop it in. I don't think it really matters that they're all different shapes. I think it's part of the fun of homemade pasta. You can buy these really expensive pasta machines and things like that, but you can just do it by hand. There we go. Okay, we're now ready to go. So our pasta's been refreshed and we're ready to cook with it now. So all I've done is put it in our cold water. We've got a nice hot pan, well not too hot, nice and warm. All we're going to do is just put that into the pan. You can do whatever you want with it. You can put a little bit of pesto in there, you can use tomato sauce. I'm just going to do a little parmesan shavings, a little bit of salt, a little bit of olive oil, just to really finish it off. So pop it in the pan. Nice little sizzles there. Put a little drop of olive oil in there, not too much. Pinch of salt. A bit of pepper. And there's our homemade pasta. And just for the final touch, we'll put a little bit of parmesan on there.